Hi, welcome to my channel, another episode of Melville, my O-gauge layout. Union Pacific, many years ago, came up with the idea of using a byproduct of gasoline that was not used and it was discarded, and it was very cheap to acquire, and they were trying to use that as a cheap way of propulsion in an engine when the transition between steam engines into the diesel era. During that period of time, they were trying different ways of propulsion, and they came up with the idea of using this portion of the discarded process of gasoline as a cheap way of propulsion. The engineers came up with the idea of an engine that would use that product, and they created a new engine at that time, and that was called the Veranda. The Veranda, the name comes from the walkway that they put on the sides of the engine, which is, Veranda stands for a porch, covered open porch, and that's where the name came from. So Union Pacific came up with the Veranda, and they used it for quite a few years until somebody came up with the idea that it was useful kind of fuel, and they started using it for other things, and then the price went up, which made it non-cost effective for Union Pacific, and then they gave up after years of using the Verandas. The Verandas was a beautiful big engine. It had a lot of power, and it served Union Pacific for quite a few years. They gave it up because of the cost of fuel, and then went into the diesel fuel. Lionel has come up with several versions of it, and the latest version, they put a lot of new nice features on it. They put the Bluetooth feature, the voice command, had two smoke stands, the double engine. It's all metal. It's very heavy, and it is a wonderful engine. When they came out in the catalog, they have different versions of it. The prototypical, that was the only actually real paint scheme that they had, was the typical Union Pacific colors, but they had a few fantasy ones, and when I saw it, they had one that was an Army and military engine Veranda, and I fell in love with it. I am prior military, served for 20 years. I'm retired from the military, and when I saw it, it was perfect. I fell in love with it, so I ordered it. Even though it's not a real prototypical one, the Army has never actually owned an engine. They use and they contract out for their services, but they never had their own. But even though it's a fantasy one, I'd like to show it to you today. I have the military one. There have been several reviews of the engine lately. There was one by Eric Trains. If you want to see a full review, I'm not going to review the entire lineup. I'm just going to show it to you and run it around my layout so you can see the military version of it. I had, before I got the engine, I had a lot of military cars, and it kind of goes perfectly with it, and I'll show you the beautiful military one. So this one is for all of those service members that are actually serving the military, and those like me have served in the past. It's in honor of all of you. This is a military version of the Veranda, and I hope you enjoy it. It's a kind of a tribute to all the service members, and I hope you enjoyed it. God bless America.